Slide behind you. I just assumed that this is the way we're doing it now. Kind of hard to do minutes because,
Okay, it looks like we're recording for certain now. Yes, and it says end broadcast. We're good.
all right. Welcome all. We'll start with the pledge. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll calls conducted. Commissioner Armitage is excused, and so is Assistant Chief Trainer. Okay. So we sent out the minutes. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the last meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna second that. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. All right, let me just record it. Okay. Rumor has it there's some news on the tower ladder front, Captain.
Sure.
Please share it with us.
So I sent a phone call out to Mr. Denny Warren from Seagrave. He answered today. Him and I spoke for about 15 minutes on the tower ladder. He says that he is waiting the finished product of the drawing. What that means, it'll basically be a schematic of what our tower ladder would be if the village were to go out and order one. Accompanied with that would be a packet of specifications outlining the different things that we changed. The one question I asked him, I said, okay, that's cool. He said about 2 to 3 weeks for that. I said, in the meantime, is there any way I can get an approximate dollar value on this? And he said that we're going to be hovering still around the $1.8 million range.
In a way, that's good because it hasn't gone up. Can you just, who's providing the drawing?
Seagrave.
So it's internal to them?
Yeah, so I think
Okay.
they think they have an engineers or architect person that draws it up on CAD and
Gotcha.
it will come out and it will say, you know, Cornelton Fire Department spec 09, whatever it is, the date, and we'll go
I
from
gotcha,
there.
okay.
The $1.8 million, what does that mean? It is about 1.75 for Seagrave's portion of it. That is the new cab and chassis. And it's about $100,000 for Alex and ITE to refurb the boom. So all in all, you're looking at a $1.85 million project. That is about $1 million to 1.3, 1.4 less than what a all new components will be. I think it's important to note that there are several departments around us that have put in service aerial devices, and the cost of them are just about 1.8 to 2, if not more. I think Chester's was around 2.9 to 3 for their Pierce Ascendant tower ladder. So we are, in my opinion, the members of the board and the fire chief are being very fiscally responsible with this approach to it.
I agree.
He did say that we can have Eugene Conley, if he wanted to, have him take it out there. Obviously, would compensate Eugene for his time and travel and everything else. He said that would cut some money off of Seagrave's portion, because then they don't have to discard of a whole rig and send people out there and all that stuff.
Take the boom? Gotcha.
So,
I'm not sure when this mic is on and off. One of the reasons that's still around $1.8 million is because we did value engineer. It took a lot of stuff off the old spec from Duncannon. One of the largest items being the generator and stuff associated with that.
They had an onboard gen system, right?
Yeah. They also had more power going up to the bucket, more controls, so they needed different equipment. We reduced it down a lot and made it a leaner machine.
Thank you. What do you need from us?
When we get that when we get the final package from Denny, we need your approval and recommendation to the village board of trustees.
Okay.
I think with the next meeting coming up on Monday, when the department report is added, I saw the items on there that there's answers to be, or, you know, questions that they have, we got the answers. Just let them know that it's still 1.8, and, you know, everything else has gone up, but we're lucky enough that as of right now, that this hasn't gone up significantly.
Okay. Anything, Mike?
No, sir.
Anything else on tower ladder?
Just publicly, a lot of thanks to the captain for being persistent with Seagrave and making sure that we finally got this spec.
That's only one of the 8,000 things that he's juggling for this department. So thank you, Captain Trainer. We appreciate you.
All those have to be
We
reviewed.
probably don't tell you enough, but we do appreciate you a lot.
I appreciate that.
Moving on to the training stipend. I know something came up last night, Chief.
It came up last night. The board seems very inclined to approve it. They did ask last night, in addition to, I gave them the roster of classes that have been attended so far, year to date through August. They did ask, first, the junior officers are hearing about it. They did ask for a roster of the courses that members intend to attend through the balance of the year, so they could get a final cost on the year, and they expect me to include training for training stipends in the budget next year.
Okay.
So that request will be going out to the membership to see what they intend to sign up for, since the county did just release a new tranche of trainings.
Okay. That's not too heavy of a lift to guesstimate what we think for the VB?
I'll squeeze them as best I can.
Right, understood. Okay. Anything else on stipend?
No.
Under new business, the clerk responsibilities, was that on the agenda last night? I thought I saw it.
It did not come up last night. We do have the list that we initially presented to the village. I'll be happy to sit with Jacqueline and Megan to go over that.
Are they aware of that? I don't,
Not yet, no.
okay, all right.
I don't think I've, other than last night, I don't think I've seen Jacqueline or Megan in a month.
Was Jacqueline in attendance last night?
No, just Megan.
Okay. Anything else on clerk? AC Trainers suggested we start talking about our 2026 budget. I know he's not here, but does anyone have anything to add to that?
I'm not fully prepared to talk about budget tonight. We might want to do that in a work session or two. Items that should go on there are Scott packs. The captain has also value engineered that. We have bottles that are still serviceable, and we can keep serviceable through rotation. We can get new packs that are compatible with the bottles that we have for a much lower cost than buying full new sets. Remember the numbers?
Yeah, I would think it was like 287.
So that's something I think that's reasonable to add to the budget. It's much better than the more than $500,000 for complete new sets. That's something that should be in there. And obviously we'll want to include training stipends into the budget. You've seen the budget, how it comes out, the monthly reports from the treasurer, and we really only have two categories that we're controlling, Firematic and equipment. Really broad. I think we need to sharpen pencils, look at subcategories of those things, and get numbers to them. And we can work on that for next year. It is time to start. It's already the end of the year.
Right.
How's the cascade system?
It's functional. Ours is a hand-me-down from Vale's Gate. We had to do some work to it to get it into service, but it's working just fine.
How old is it? Get a guess.
20 years.
See, that, to me, that should be life cycle too, right? As part of the, if we can afford it.
So the New Windsor Fire District, well, Passaic Bridge Fire District, they just spent, I think, $100,000 either on buying a new one or fixing theirs. There is a piston that needs to be re-welded onto our unit. The unfortunate part about it is we just need to find a Corbin welder. I think DPW has that on their maintenance rig. But I don't know what type of material it is, if it's something that can be welded through that welder or something else. I would probably estimate a new cascade system would be about $100,000. So, but yeah, it's got very low hours on it. We were fortunate enough to get it from Vale's Gate when they did it, and you know, it's filled its needs for the past couple of years.
So this piston, it works with a piston that needs to be welded?
Yeah, so the piston, they're obviously the front door comes down. It's just not kind of like if you got them at home.
Oh,
like,
for the door.
yeah.
Oh, I was thinking
Yeah.
inside the
No,
compressor.
no.
I'm like,
So
okay.
it's kind of like just instead of
All right.
a slam.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
It works
up and
better
down.
Yeah.
with it, but it does work without it.
So I haven't looked at this stuff for more than a few years, but there was a move towards higher pressure systems, right? For Scott was running those. I forget, were they 5,500 or something? So you could run smaller cylinders or same size cylinder and get 45-minute bottles. Is that like faded out and people aren't doing that, or?
I think there's people doing it, but then we would have to buy all new bottles.
Right, but I mean, if we're gonna do it,
Mhm.
if there's interoperability questions about
Right.
that, right?
That's what I mean.
The one thing, the one operational change is that a 4,500 minute, a 4,500 PSI at 45 minutes is a bigger cylinder.
Right.
However, like a 5,500 PSI cylinder, I think you can get one of them is the same size as a greater
Right.
number. So I think a 55 might be the same size as a 45 as a 30-minute
Right.
4,500.
That's what I recall, and that's what I'm asking. You know, if you guys, do we research that, or we're just saying no, we're just going to save the money and not try to do that?
We can research it. I haven't.
Because you would need a new cascade system that could go to
Yeah,
the higher
yeah.
pressure, and if you were going to get one of those, you then just go for that system because a 45-minute bottle, that's just the weight of a 30-minute, but that's a huge difference because it's.
Yeah, I think and just some backstory, the reason why we went with 30 minutes is because obviously the makeup of the structures in the village don't necessarily require a longer time for work. I think the members uptown, they use 45-minute bottles, they used to at least. We have some members that use them at work, and I think they're 4,500 PSIs, and they're a pretty bulky item. However, you get the 5,500s, I think you can slim it down, and it's
Yeah, so that's safer, and if you're ever going to run fast, you got to have 45s, right? It's just something to think about. I'm not telling you all what to do. I'm just throwing it out there because maybe now's the
It's
time.
definitely
to
something that we
consider
can
that.
Yeah,
look at and,
definitely good points.
you know.
And our Cascade does go up to 6,000. I don't know if that's enough to pressurize 50,000.
Yeah, ours. I try not to mention Washington. It's been probably like a year since I mentioned Washington while I was in this chair. For some reason, it went to higher pressure, but Scott was telling us we couldn't do that, and we ended up just sticking with the traditional 4,500 that you guys are looking at. But we did look at all that because of the fact that fast uses 45, and a 45 that's as light as a 30-minute is huge. So, yeah. Just some 2 cents to think about.
How many SCBA do we, like, what's our,
So right now we run about, I want to say we run about 30 actual packs. right? The packs are, just for the people listening at home, the packs are what we wear on our backs, and that accompanies the cylinder. And the standard for the cylinders is for every pack you need 2 cylinders, so we have about 60 cylinders. Right now, as members go to training, we are stripping an air pack or 2 from a rig. We usually take it from a less used rig, or a less likely used rig like the rescue, because that's predominantly for EMS calls or MVAs. However, if we ever need to use it, it's not going to be there, it's gonna be out at a training event. What we did with this quote is we added 3 extra cylinders or extra packs
For that purpose.
for training,
Gotcha.
you know, and
And we'll
God
be
forbid,
getting 4 more seats on the pumper tanker.
you know, God forbid, if we do have to send one out, we're not down a seat, we can just always
Right.
rotate one in there and we'll be
Right.
all right.
Good, thank you. Anything else on budget for now?
No.
At least it's on our radar, we'll keep it on there. Cav, you wanna go into membership report?
Yes, so. back. So there was nothing of note as far as, no big changes here. We got some onboarding coming up for some members. Couple of probies are still taking firefighter 1. That should be rounding up hopefully in November. The 2 members are still on leave. We've been in touch with them. They both are doing pretty well. The active firefighter report. You'll notice the first one's pretty big. Firefighter Maggie Sweeney was taken on probation from by the company trustees last night. She has been a tremendous asset to this department since she's joined. She's always been there to a helping hand. I think it's pretty amazing that she has chosen a fire service related degree to go pursue when she's up in school. Not only is she doing that, she is participating in a live-in program up at the Fayetteville Fire Department as a combination department, so it has career and volunteer personnel. I've been in touch with her, she likes it, she seems to be doing pretty well up there. So when she comes back for the holidays, I'm sure a lot of people have some questions and ask her, and she'll be sitting in the hot seat for a couple minutes. The second thing, the members are still waiting the goals and priorities. I think that's might be discussed later on in this meeting. What that is, the members just are looking down the line. They just don't want to remain stagnant, and they want to look at the goals and how they can help achieve those goals, what the expectations are of those members, and basically they just want to know what's coming up and what's coming down the pipeline. Third thing, we will be participating in the Orange County Volunteer Firemen's Parade in Monroe on the 27th of September, and the members will be taking Tanker 415. Usually in the month of September, there's probably 100 plus volunteer hours for prepping that machine. A lot of it is really a labor of love. It is a 35-year-old apparatus. However, it is in pretty good shape. It has served us well for the 35 years, and I think if it was something that we could maintain properly and it had the proper equipment and safety measures, that we'd probably hold on to it. But unfortunately, there comes a time where we have to say goodbye. So I think this is the second to last parade that we will have with it. So the good thing is that if the village looks forward to selling it and returning some value, that it will look pretty good come next December, because 2.5 months before that, the members basically spruced it up.
Gotcha.
That's all for the membership report.
Thank you. Any questions on membership? Monthly department was shared. The chief pointed out that the 0 personnel cost was noticed by the at the work session last night.
That's good.
So it means they're reading it or listening to it when it's being read. Any questions on the department report or any comments?
No.
Okay. Budget reports were sent out.
Yeah, where is that one?
Hold on, I'm just taking a note.
There it is.
I review the budget reports by skimming them as I'm placing them into a binder to share, and then another one comes in and I missed it. I don't really get into the meat and potatoes. I think Commissioner Armitage does. I don't know if anyone, there's anything on there that we need to talk about?
I'll just note that we've pretty much expended the equipment budget line.
Okay.
And we're at 45% on the Firematic line.
On the 45%, is that typical or are we ahead, behind?
We're a little ahead, but I'm confident it'll even out by the end of the year.
There are some big purchases with getting 412 into place. So with 412, obviously the wrap was about $10,000 of it. And I think Firematic had some expenses on some maintenance items too.
Some repairs, right?
And then switching over, I think I know they use 5-inch down there, so we had to buy a couple adapters that were pretty pricey.
Okay.
So that if we account for that, then I think our budget might be more in line with what it usually is.
I recall an email, hence the face. I recall an email from the treasurer about,
The equipment line.
that's what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They paid it, bottom line. Anything else on budget? Moving over to ongoing buildings and grounds. So I know I'm gonna open with, there is a request from the building inspector for an annual inspection, which Commissioner Buckus is addressing.
Will you back?
Tom, do you want to be involved in that?
If you need me to, I mean, I think I trust Commissioner Butkus enough to.
So here's my thinking, and I don't know if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. You know the building certainly better than I do. I can't speak for Commissioner Buckus, but
Yes, I mean,
Certainly better than-
just let me know what's expected. I mean, I know Manny wants to come in and do, maybe he did. I saw that email. But just, I don't,
He's coming on Monday at 15:30.
tentatively scheduled or not unconfirmed schedule from Monday at 15:30. Do you? So what are your thoughts?
I can be there. I'm probably gonna be there. I usually stop there after work.
That'd
so,
be great.
so
Okay.
I'm planning to be there, and then whatever happens happens.
I don't know if you've ever walked through the entire firehouse and
No.
gotten a rundown, so maybe you and I and him could
That's a good idea.
give you the rundown of what was what.
Do you want a tour beforehand?
I had one from you a while back, but if if you think it's necessary, I may try to do that over the weekend.
You know what? I'll calendar that. If I'm around, I'll definitely pop in. Anything else on?
Yeah, so
Something? You have some
I have some stuff. Yeah, I do. Have to flip back here. So I met with Mr. Halverson on the 29th of August, and we went over how we're going to handle maintenance at the firehouse now, and he thought that was a good way ahead. He said that for the hood inspection that's outstanding, he needs to be able to get Manny there along with the people from the hood company, and that's been difficult to schedule. So that's the answer on that one. He got a quote from engineers in the Bronx to do the wall repair, and it was $60,000. So now it has to go out to bid, and so he's working on that.
Can I pause you on that one?
What's
I think
that?
we saw that. That was basically said fix wall, 60K. Like there was nothing. There's
Yeah.
nothing to it.
Right. So he's gonna try to put a bid together or an RFP for that one.
Okay,
What else do we
Thank you.
got here? We talked about being ready for, as we just did for the budgeting process in October, so we can have, items on there, including, the asphalt. Although he said he was concerned about, putting in the supports for the building after we do the asphalt, but earlier we were discussing how we don't think the building's gonna be, totally upgraded anytime soon, so I think we should budget for the new parking lot and, for next year and go from there. Fire alarm system was just inspected. Alarm and keyless entry will be part of the next budget planning on his part. That's what it sounded like to me. There's also a new fuel system coming. He's working out the kinks on it. You guys probably know about that. He also mentioned that he feels that the building is not moving based on the indicators that they put in there along the cracks.
Those are duct taped to the wall.
All right, so I guess that wasn't a high-tech job that they put those in. I hadn't seen it.
I think they were once cemented, and the cement broke, and now they're just duct taped.
Okay. Yeah, that's no good. All right, that's not telling you anything. There was one thing on the list I forgot to ask you. I basically took your text and sent it to him without really evaluating, make sure I understood. There was something about the back wall in there I didn't understand, and it came.
The back wall is the wall that behind the tower that needs to be repaired.
Oh, that's the same wall. Oh, okay. All right. And then the last thing he brought up, and he was really concerned about this, and apparently the mayor was involved, but when we cut that car up, and maybe you guys know about this, but when we cut the car a couple weeks ago, whenever that last time was, somebody saw booms out around the drain, and they're concerned that fluids were going into the storm drain system. And so I don't know if anything went in there or not, but he feels that we have to come up with a better way to manage how we cut the cars. And that led to the discussion of the concrete apron, perhaps with a secondary containment in it that we can then use, which I think should go in our budget. But we may have to move that, think about, when we talked about this in our last meeting, right? So that we have a dumpster and we have different places where we can rethink how we do operations back there so that we can keep using it. But we have to be careful about that because we could get ourselves in trouble if things are going down the drain.
That's why the
and we're
booms went
draining.
down, so we don't.
So was the boom put there as a preventative measure, or was it in response to?
Nothing made it in.
There you go. Okay, gotcha. Okay, and that's all I have on maintenance and growth.
And that's part of the problem of building a firehouse on a stream.
Right.
okay. Anyone else on, Building?
And you
Okay.
said the word budget several times in there. I believe the facilities budget has been $75,000 for several years now. It's probably long past due to raise that part of the budget also.
Yeah. So like the asphalt, he said that we should bring that up, right? And we should probably just bring up the alarm and keyless, even though he said that he was planning that, just to make sure that gets in there. As we do our budget cycle.
who's 75K? Is that ours or his towards the building?
It's his towards the building. It used to be ours, but he's doing the maintenance on it.
But your
now.
point is it's probably not enough.
Correct.
Chief, are we good on building? Last month we had we have an ongoing item with outstanding equipment, but you weren't here to discuss.
There's one piece of outstanding equipment. It's a pager. I have a phone call out. Has not been returned yet.
We need the henchmen. Do we need to involve them yet?
Not yet.
Thank you. Because I will send Carol. You don't want that. So here we are, goals and priorities. Now, the captain has iterated several times that the membership wants to hear where we're going. And I don't know that the Board of Fire Commissioners has put anything together on goals and priorities, have we? And I didn't think so. I was hoping you said we did, but.
Oh, it's right here.
I don't think you have either, but I think you are addressing them. Go ahead.
Define them, addressing what?
Goals and priorities.
As they come up? Or like we don't, I think we've discussed this in the past,
We have been doing it ad hoc a bit.
Right.
But, you know, we have the fire apparatus goals outlined for the next 20 years. We've mentioned SCBA and now the Cascade system, the firehouse. I think if we put that into a comprehensive outline, timeline, and share it with the membership of where we want to go. I think we've been doing very good at addressing the day-to-day stuff, and we've started looking at the future, and I think we need to make that future clearer to the membership, and also to get the village board of trustees looking at the future rather than the parking lot today.
right,
Get them looking at the building tomorrow, and tomorrow not meaning 2026, but 2030, 2036. You know, going out as far as we've gone out with the apparatus.
on the,
Do you disagree with any of that?
No, I mean, I think that, I think that the commissioners are a little bit, and I don't mean this in a negative manner. I don't think you guys have a clear direction of what your roles and responsibilities are and what's expected of you. I think that this board was put together, and it, in my opinion, may have been a correct thing to do, but I think it was put together reactionary, and we're just gonna do it to put something to bed. Needless to say, I do think that there are goals that are established. I just think those goals need to be expressed. And as much as the commissioners have given the village board goals and where they wanna see the department, the members deserve that as well. And I think collectively, we deserve to, and the members deserve that, and we collectively need to give them that. The one thing that the members really, they wanna be here, and I've expressed this time and time again, they wanna be here. How do we capture that? I think by letting them know that, hey, we hear you, we appreciate you, you know, we're grateful for you, you know, and something like last night, and this is just me as a younger individual with the, you know, time to really look into stuff. When you guys highlight, hey, listen, we made 100% of the calls and it was 0% of the, you know, personnel costs, and the answer was, well, not technically. Okay, without the volunteers, you're looking at $3 to $4 million a year in payroll.
Mhm.
All right, not including this other stuff that you have to do. And if you think that a firefighters union is going to be okay with riding around a 30-year-old apparatus, that's not happening. If you think a firefighters union is going to come and be okay with, you know, staying in a firehouse that has mice and mold and their back walls falling apart, that's not going to happen. You know,
I
our
agree.
members want to just feel that they're being heard. I think you guys are doing it. I don't think that there's a clear direction of how we're going to do it. You know, I think we all have we all have goals of what we do, like the tower ladder, the building, and we're throwing all these ideas out here, and I think the village knows these ideas, but how are we going to get these done? I think we really need to, and I say we because it's a team, you know, effort. Need to say, hey, what's our 1-year goal? What's our 5-year goal? What's a 10-year goal?
So I agree with you and I disagree with you on some points. One of them is, as far as goals and priorities, we need to collectively put our heads together and figure out what's our 5-year plan, what's our 10-year plan, and what's greater than that. The disagree part is as far as what this board does. I think we're defining it. It's what we've been doing since we started,
No, and I
within the scope of 10-1000 or
that's
the
what I'm
law.
saying. What's allowed of you?
Right.
And the unfortunate part about it is, it shouldn't be up for you to define what you're doing. It should have been, hey, listen, explain to you. You're the Board of Fire Commissioner, in my opinion. You know,
I hear you. So how can we?
So as I was listening to both of you, perhaps one way to start it, a clear way to start it is an annual report at the end of the year, what we've done and where we need to go.
Good idea.
I have something to add to that.
Go ahead.
There's an actual NFPA recommendation that the fire chief or whoever the operational head of the department gives a written report to the authority having jurisdiction once a year. And then every couple years, they have someone do a comprehensive deep dive into the fire department, kind of like what Mr. Glover did with the apparatus and all that stuff.
What NFPA is that in?
I can find it.
Okay.
I just remember, I
Right.
think it has something to do with administering the volunteer fire department. There's an entire NFPA Bible on
Right.
it, and one of it is a yearly report, and then every so often you have to give basically a more comprehensive report on what you project the next couple years, the next 10 years to look like for your members, for the operations, what's expected, on all that other stuff.
So could we, I think like there's two sides of it. Can we ask the membership, like, what would you like to see in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Provide, just to get a sense of what their thinking is, and then I think we should kind of also come up with some ideas to try to get, we do need to have something on paper, because I don't disagree with you, we do need to have stuff that we're working towards.
Right.
And we do get stuff done, but we're not, I don't know if we're tracking it, I don't know if that's the right description.
What I can do is I will talk with the lieutenants and I will talk with the board of trustees and the company's behalf,
Mhm.
and we can put together a Google form,
Mhm.
send it out to the members. We'll collect data and we'll report back. We'll say, I think a month's going to be a little bit short, but we can touch on it month on month for the next,
Right,
to the end of the year and talk about it, and then hopefully, if we say by January 1 or by the reorganizational meeting for the village, we have something in concrete. In the past, we have done that. We have done evaluations on what the members feel the company can do differently. I actually have some, but I can share that with you.
I think February is a more reasonable timeline than January.
Yeah, so.
Thank you, and I think that would be helpful. Going back to an annual report, obviously, we've never done that here. How do you picture that? How do you see that?
So some of it's going to be a compilation of the monthly reports and the incidents that we've responded to.
Mm-hmm.
Highlight the important ones, highlight important purchases, upgrades to equipment, and what our needs are that we may see in the next 5 years. Just off the top of my head, a silly one, and it's not silly. The boat, our boat is aging. We haven't given it a lot of attention, the need for a new boat, because the other firefighting apparatus is taking priority. But it is a need that's going to be out there in the next few years.
Hope it's not in the will report, is it?
No, it's not. He took a picture of it. Said, you guys got a boat.
It's in there, and he recommends us reaching out to
Somebody knows about boats.
somebody who knows about boats, but also, I guess the government will donate a boat that they are deeming surplus and donate it to a organization in need, I guess.
Okay.
There are grants out there with the current administration. I don't know if they're still freezing on the grants, the federal grants and all that. The city of Newburgh, they got theirs through a Port Authority grant. We reached out to them. We have a copy of their grant packet, and a lot of their operational challenges and operational framework we have to deal with as well. I also think that it might not be something that, like the chief said, it's obviously not a high priority, but it's going to be a priority eventually. So it's just something that we have to keep in mind.
And we can note things that are going on in the village throughout the year, like the new construction, I forget the address, on Hudson Street, the new multifamily complex that's in there, the construction that's being contemplated, 20 acres down on
Shore Road.
Shore Road, what impact that's going to have on us.
Would the members be interested in developing certain capabilities that we could highlight? Like we're going to have a FAST, and we're going to have a
Ropes, fast.
rescue,
Yeah.
a tech rescue team, and that kind of thing. That's registered with the county.
So how do we keep moving the ball forward with goals?
I think we start having meetings outside of this meeting, work sessions to talk about the specific things. I think that's sort of a problem with a lot of organizations like ours. You don't think about the monthly meeting until the monthly meeting.
Right. At least the day before.
And if we start doing a little bit more work between the meetings, I think we'll make some progress, especially on the budget, especially on the annual report.
Anyone else on goals? All right, under policies, I know that you shared some with us today.
I
Some
gave you
SOGs.
all of our current SOGs, and I think that's another project for work sessions. And some of them need to be updated. Some of them, I don't think the commissioners need to be concerned with, like which hose we're gonna grab off the
Right.
rig. Other ones, I think the commissioners should be very concerned about and put their imprimatur on. So if we take them in small chunks, work on them on work sessions between meetings, so the commissioners can work toward having a set of policies for the department. Another thing that we could take in small bites. And I think the first lieutenant has a policy to propose this evening.
Awesome. How do you see us putting these work sessions together? I agree. That's why I asked.
With the line officers and maybe input from general members, like Saturday mornings, Thursday evenings. Just so that we're doing it regularly to get it done. And maybe it's also a way that we use, the new fire department assistant. I don't know about your schedule, but if we could do it during normal business hours, so that we can turn stuff over to her to actually get it down on paper out of our gibberish notes. Sessions like that. Yeah, and I don't mean 4-hour marathons.
No, I'm not a fan. I agree. I'm just thinking logistics. I don't know of other people's availability. Is there anyone that can wave the wand and try getting us together to make this happen?
I can try putting out a doodle poll. And I don't think we necessarily need all 3 commissioners for all
No,
of these
I agree, but
meetings. Maybe it's me and Mike on budget, and you and the assistant chief on the annual report.
okay, as example.
Yep. You know, because I don't want to start having, you know, as soon as 2 of you get together,
I know,
it's a public meeting.
right. What if we don't know the other one's there? Plausible? No. Okay, needs to be done. Let's hope we can inch it in that direction. As with everything we discuss, moves at the speed of government. So, difficult, but trying.
First step's always the hardest.
It is. It is. Lieutenant, you have something under additional you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, so for starters, we have a list of equipment that we would like the village to deem as surplus. Just some old hose, hard suction, adapters, old fire helmets. So I'll give that to you in a second.
Thank you.
But we figured that since you are custodians of department property, it probably makes sense for those requests to go through you guys. And this might also be a good opportunity to create a policy related to surplus of equipment and apparatus. So I came up with a little outline that I'll give to you now, and if you like it, maybe you could use it as a baseline for policy. It just outlines the process, talks a little bit about record keeping, if that's maybe something you want to do. And I'm sure there's more that you could add to it.
Thank you. Thank you for putting the time into it.
And he's underselling it. It is a full policy. You guys could add, subtract as you wish.
Okay.
Can you provide these 2 documents electronically,
Yes.
please? I'll cut back to that in a second. So as far as the surplus, we can accept it at face value. And then make a motion and share it to the clerk? Is that correct? Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Or does it just go as an attachment to the minutes?
To our minutes? Yeah,
Right, 'cause that's a
it
public
can, but
record.
typically what we've done with surplus is send it to the clerk to put
Okay.
on for the VB to, they own it, they have to say we can get rid of
Alright,
it or not.
okay.
Right, is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, and if not, that's their business.
Yeah, okay, that's right, they can do it.
It came from the officers, they said we wanna get rid of this, we give it to the village board, they make the decision.
And you're suggesting that all of that goes in the garbage, correct? Not something we're gonna put up for auction?
There there is a little bit of return value on the adapters, just scrap money.
Scrap?
So everything else is out of date and no longer safe to use.
Okay. All right, so based on the list provided, I'm going to make a motion that we accept the reported face value that the equipment is obsolete, out of date, failed testing, or lacks proper safety features, and that we will forward this to the clerk for them to do whatever they want with it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So this is gonna be surplus. And while I have your attention, I again failed to make a motion to accept the monthly department report, so I will make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll review the statute. Thank you very much for putting that together for us. Is there anything you want to point out, or we'll take it as it reads?
I heard a couple of other ideas, like something that's not in here is maybe a mention of any surplus equipment, should not be, there should be a, hey, this saw doesn't work, let me take it home. I don't know if that's something that maybe you'd wanna include.
Surplus equipment shouldn't be used for personal use.
We should throw it out instead.
Well, I mean, if we're deeming it, if the department is deeming it for reasons of, damaged, unsafe, or obsolete,
And I think that should be up to the chief, because like I have a pair of boots I wear at home when I plow the driveway or through the driveways. They were surplus, right? They're like 30 years old, but they still work.
Yeah, the one thing that you could do is you could just have a sign out like a form saying, hey, I'm taking this and I own it all, and if I break my ankle while putting the boots on, I'm not gonna sue.
my
them.
problem.
A hold harmless agreement essentially.
Yeah,
or-
something like that. Yeah.
You also don't want members to be unjustly enriched.
If you're throwing it out,
Well, but you understand what he's.
I guess if you put it in the dumpster and someone takes it out, then that's on them, right? Maybe that's what
But
we
do
leave
you
it.
understand what he's saying? We don't wanna say, well, listen, we should really
No,
get rid of this.
But it has to go through all of us, through the board, right?
Right.
That's the whole beauty of it, right? We have a policy now. So that shouldn't happen unless somebody's stealing
Yeah,
it.
and I think reasonable minds can disagree
Yeah,
on
yeah.
exactly how we do it, so.
Okay. So do we wanna hold homeless clause?
Or maybe we just put it in the dumpster and whatever happens, right?
It does not have to go in there. Cause as Mike
Because
points
we're
out,
making it more bureaucratic than
there
maybe
is.
it needs to
Yeah,
be.
and I
Yeah, I
I
don't like
hear you.
bureaucracy.
We don't need to make more work for anyone.
We also usually make it pretty hard to put stuff back in service if it is deemed surplus. Like
Mhm.
if there's a hose that is burst, we'll cut the coupling off.
Mhm.
If a cylinder SCBA it's out of date, we'll drill a hole in the top so it won't hold air. Something like that we can ultimately, if it's no value to the village,
Mhm.
just basically make it non-useful.
That's a good point. Anything that could get somebody hurt.
so bring in your boots next month, I'll drop them.
I already have one hole. I had to patch.
Thank you, Lieutenant, for the time you put into this. We appreciate it. We'll review it and then we can put it on our adoption list.
Yes, sir.
Any additional business?
I have one, and it's very small, just to update you guys. I've been doing some research on the ISO rating in the village of Cornwall. We are at a class 4 right now. 50% of the rating is based off of fire department operations, training, communications, equipment, response, members, all that different stuff. I think last year we scored a 62 and change, 62.25. 5 points of that was for having a aerial device. So if we do not have an aerial device, that would put us to a 57 and drop us down to a class 5. With that, if we do not have an aerial device, we would not get the points for subsequent training for a ladder company, and that would hold us down below a class 5 in my estimations and put us to a class 6. Going from a 4 to a 5 has no negative impacts on insurance rates as far as I can see, meaning they don't go up. Going from a 5 to a 6, there's about $160 a year in additional costs for insurance on a home. This is based off of a report that I found. I can get you the report. Obviously, everything is different in different markets, but this is based off the average home value in the village of Cornwall and Hudson. It's $160 per home per year. That's about $192,000 a year that is saved by having a tower ladder and having the members trained, equipped, and ready to respond. This does not include commercials or multifamily dwellings. If you included those, it would be much more significant. A lot of people look at the tower ladder as something that gets us to a high point, and that is one of an infinite amount of things why a tower ladder or an aerial device is needed. Obviously, the village is an older community, right? But there are a lot of newer homes. And when people build homes, they're building them bigger and bigger and bigger. A lot of homes up on the mountain fall within that 3,000 or 3,500 square foot home, where you're gonna need a lot of gallons per minute to flow. For those, I'm sure we've all used them, flowing from a tower ladder versus a straight aerial is completely different. Two different beasts. That is why, in my opinion, we prefer a tower ladder, amongst other things. But I have a short write-up that I can give to everyone. But I know that was a question that was asked at a meeting about what would the impact be per home. So I know, we got a lot of asks out to the village, this capital reserve and all this stuff, and they're saying $100,000 sounds like a lot of money. Okay, well, if we don't commit to this, then we're gonna be banging up the residents pretty significantly over the years.
Yeah, please share that. I agree with you. Any comment?
I agree. Makes sense.
Any additional business?
No, and to Tom's point, the last time I saw 413 flowing water, it was through a front door.
It was.
What's the reference?
It was a structure fire,
We put
just
the fire out
needed
the
a
top
lot of
floor
water.
and we went downstairs.
Oh, okay. All right, calendar shows October 6th, a Monday, for our next meeting date. Our meetings are on Monday to be first Monday of the month, which makes us prior to the work session and the board meeting. And with that, I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any discussion? Motion carries. Thank you.
So you're rather quiet tonight.
Could we,
No.
thank you.